Hi guys, my name is Vaishnavi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as you can see from the title of the video, this is going to be all about finding a balance in med school or college in general. I know a lot of people who struggle with finding the right balance between studying, having fun, pursuing hobbies, maintaining a social circle. And just like many of you, I've also struggled with that for a while. And having spent around 4 years in college now, I feel like I found that balance and maybe I can help you out. The first thing I'd like to talk about is regarding hobbies and extracurricular activities. Whether it's playing a sport, dancing, singing, cooking, playing an instrument, it is very important to inculcate these things in your routine. A lot of people stop pursuing their hobbies once they enter college or especially medical school because of the amount of academic pressure that might come in. So to ease yourself out or to give yourself that time to relax, it is very important to pursue these hobbies that truly give you some happiness. A lot of people might push you down or tell you that it's not possible. You might as well just concentrate on studying or doing something else. But don't listen to them. Everybody has 10 things to say. Do what you feel like at that point without forgetting that yes, you have to study, but at the same time, if you do something that genuinely makes you happy, your mind will be at peace and it will help in your overall development and probably concentrate on studies better as well. Second thing I'd like to talk about is clubs and committees. If you're lucky enough that your college has committees which you can be part of, from educational committees to extracurricular committees. By that I mean probably a surgical society in medical school, or an IT society in engineering college. Or extracurricular committees like the cultural committee, sports committee, a literary committee, and probably being part of that would give you some happiness, then why not go ahead, put yourself out there, make sure you audition for these committees and clubs in your first year itself. The main thing about these committees and clubs is that you get such a good connection with your seniors, with your fellow batchmates, with your juniors, and these relationships literally last for the rest of your college life at least. The senior friends you make in these committees are those people who will genuinely help you out, whether it's an academic stress or stress related to friends or anything. College is a time where a lot of people do a lot of things. You might feel so underconfident and tell yourself, I'm not capable of doing this. And probably these committees and clubs will give you the confidence that your head needs to tell you that I'm capable of doing something else also. The third thing I'll want to talk about is friends and socializing, especially if you're staying away from home in a hostel. Finding the right people is the most important thing in college. There might be many instances where you will find a certain set of people you don't gel with, and you might be wondering if you're stuck in college and you're all alone, and if you're away from family and what the hell are you doing. But it's honestly very possible to find the right set of people. You might not find them in the first instance or in the first month of college, but eventually you start broadening your mind and accepting people for who they are. It is very possible to find the right set of people. A lot of people tend to get into their shell. Either they lack in confidence or they just like being on their own. I would honestly recommend to put yourself out there. College is the time to grow, to develop as an individual. At the end of the day, friends are the family you choose, especially in college when you're staying away from home. Take some time every day from your schedule to, spend some quality time with your friends, either through meals or, find a study partner. For all you know, your study partner could become such a good friend of yours, and that's happened to me so many times. Like, a lot of my really close friends now are those people with whom I study regularly, and along the way you form great bonds, and college will be smoother with them. The fourth thing I like to talk about is traveling. This is very dependable in the place you are staying or the place your college is, and the kind of people you have around you if they are willing to travel. If you can, definitely make time for traveling as well. Firstly, it increases the bond so much, and secondly, you get to know so much about yourself as a person. At the end of the day, college is all about finding yourself, and travel helps you do that a lot. As you know from my previous vlog, if you haven't seen, go watch it. I traveled to Andaman with my friends after my third year, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. You should do it too if you have the resources, if your parents agree, if your friends are cooperative about it. Why not? Go ahead, have a great time. And if you have places around your college or around your city where you can go for a day or two with your friends, then definitely go ahead. You learn a lot about people, about the world, and it's a very, very enriching experience. Prioritizing makes your life a hell lot easier. That also means learning to say no when you don't want to do certain stuff. You might have a lot of friends who want to party all the time, or who want to meet up, and you're not up for it. Or if you don't feel like it, learn to say no. It's okay. If they're your friends, they will understand. Make time for things that make you truly happy. Just learn that it doesn't matter what other people's opinions are if you are content with yourself. So if you can prioritize yourself and your needs first before other people, that will help you a lot. There might be times when people put you down and tell you, you shouldn't be doing this, or you should do this. Don't listen to them if you feel it's not coming from a place of goodwill. Prioritize whom you want to spend what time with. Prioritize what you want to be doing for most part of the day. Like after you come back from class, you're tired, make sure you spend some time alone, and then think about what you want to do for the rest of the day that can probably give you happiness. And that might even involve studying if you need to do that. For example, if you have an exam coming up, you might as well want to study and not chill with your friends if they want it. And a lot of these problems can also come up when you have fests in general. You might have long hours of practice and you don't know when to put in studies or when to meet people. You feel like you're losing out on your social life, or you're not doing well in college. First, take a breather. Think it through, see what's important for you on a day-to-day basis. Of course, probably a fest is coming up, so you will have some set number of practice hours. Now see the amount of time left in hand, and then think which is of utmost priority. I've not spent this amount of time with a very good friend of mine for a very long time. Yes, probably meet that person for a while, talk to them, tell them how your life is going and how busy it is, and they will understand. In the same way, come back, set probably 2 hours to study if you're very busy, or even an hour, so that that you're progressing even academically, and that feeling of, oh my god, I'm not doing anything in my life, goes away. Just learn to say no, prioritize what is important for you, and that will make your life a hell lot easier. Once you've made your timetable, reflect on it once. See if it's working out for you, and if you've not been over enthusiastic about it. Make it achievable and stick to it. It's very important you stick to your routine. Your mind then sets in that cycle so that it can get easier for you eventually over a period of time. Personally, for me, I feel it is very important to wake up at a regular time and sleep at a regular time. Make sure you cover 7 hours of sleep, and then carry out with your day. Good sleep is equivalent to a good day, and that's what I believe in. Also, if you can, try to wake up as early as possible. With that, the number of productive hours in your day increase. And probably sleep also relatively earlier, not maybe like at 2 or 3. That can sometimes play with your mind. And most of us, if we're sleeping at 2 or 3, we're generally on our phones. So I would recommend waking up early, sleeping early, and following a regular pattern. So that's the first thing in time management. And the remaining of the day, follow your timetable, whatever works for you. Put in good breaks and things that genuinely make you happy other than just studying. The next thing I'd like to talk about is studies and doing well on your exams. Firstly, we attend lectures from 8 in the morning to probably 4 in the evening. and it might get difficult to figure out, which teachers to listen to, what classes to listen to. In the beginning, I recommend listening to all teachers and figure out which teacher's teaching method suits you the best. And eventually, you'll realize that maybe not all teachers you need to listen to. Some you can do self study on your own. And now with online classes, it's quite easy that way to figure out what you can do in that time, and you don't want to listen to a teacher. Now, especially in medical school, you have hundreds of books for every single subject. Everybody has an opinion that so and so book is great, so and so book isn't great. I think you should take time to figure out the resources on your own. Go to the library, flip through pages of different books and see which book suits you and your study method the best, and go along with that. And of course, take advice from your seniors, and if they have books annotated from before, make sure you go and grab those books before anybody else does. The next thing is postings. This is particular to medical school. I think this is very, very, very important to pay attention in postings. Learning bedside from a patient is the best way to go ahead in medical school. Textbooks can only take you so far. Make sure you talk to the patient, spend enough time, show interest. Make sure you're telling the teacher that I want to learn more, I want to see more cases. Make sure you're reading up every day and answering in class, so that the teachers know that you're interested in what they're teaching, and automatically they will let you know that they are also interested in giving you the knowledge you really want. So research, poster presentations, case presentations, attending conferences, these are not necessary, but why not? Research is a very good way to learn so much about a specific subject. Try and cultivate interest in research. Teachers push you to do some amount of research or publications, then go for it. It can help you boost your CV if you want to do, a PLAB or a USMLE. At the same time, you learn so much and the experience is very great. To study better, I highly, highly, highly recommend study partners. I've done that from my first year. You learn so much. There might be some things which which the other person doesn't, and vice versa. So knowledge just bounces off each other and you learn better in the process. Now with Corona and the pandemic, video calls are a great way to go ahead with studying with somebody else. So make sure you get yourself a study partner, probably for different subjects, and see if your frequencies of studying match, and go ahead with it. Having the right company and the right set of people is probably one of the most important things. And this is the same with studies or your career goals. Make sure you surround yourself with people who have very similar academic or career goals. These people will generally tend to push you and encourage you to get the best out of yourself. So surround yourself with people who are like-minded and equally goal-oriented as you. At the end of the day, learning matters more than just doing well on exams. It's not all about bookish knowledge. Try to learn concepts and not muck things up. In the long run, that won't be helpful. So make sure you're learning and enjoying in the process. And exams will come and go, and if you have good knowledge about the basics, exams will definitely go smoothly. The next thing I want to talk about is mental health. I think this is a very important topic and something that's not spoken about very, very commonly, especially in med school. The number of cases we hear on a regular basis with respect to suicide in medical college or in the medical community itself is very alarming. The pressure that is put on students in general is a lot to take. So sometimes, but a lot of times, there might be instances where you just feel like giving up and you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. And that's very, very common, trust me. It can get very taxing, especially when it's so competitive and a lot of people around you are doing well. So just take it slow and don't stop believing in yourself ever. For instance, in college, a lot of people might have a lot of friends. Certain people might be doing so many things. Some people might be ultra talented that they're doing everything. And you feel so inadequate about yourself a lot of times. Tell yourself that everybody has a story. Everybody out there isn't just happy all the time. Everybody is going through something, and before judging someone else, tell yourself that everyone's human. Secondly, don't look at other people. Look at what you're doing. If you're happy with the way you are, that's what matters. If you're happy just speaking to a few set of people, that's totally okay. If probably going and socializing with so and so doesn't give you so much happiness, don't do it. It's not necessary. If you don't think you're good in singing or dancing, but you like playing a sport, go do that. You are enough the way you are, and you are really, really good. Believe in that and push yourself with that thought. Don't ever compare yourself to someone else, especially in college. If you're lucky enough that your college has centers for support, go seek help if you're going through some trauma, or if you're not okay and you're feeling upset, or you just feel like talking to someone. Go talk to these people, seek professional help. There's nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of people do it. Only if you're happy can you do anything that will bring the results that you want. So finally, I just like to say, college could be the best time of your life. There could be hard times as well, but it's the time where you grow and you develop as an individual. You learn so much about yourself and people around you, and the kind of people you actually want to keep in your life. And don't make the mistake of just sitting on your own. Put yourself out there, get to know more people, make connections. And for people who are very apprehensive on whether they should enter medical college, because they might lose out on their social life or happiness, that's not at all true. You can always do things that you like, or maintain a social life or a good social circle even in medical college. It's just about balance. Just give yourself some time to warm up, and don't stop pursuing what you want to do career wise just because you're scared that something might not work out. It's always possible, and you should just believe in yourself. That's what's most important. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. This was my share of whatever I experienced and what I could tell you guys. And see you guys in the next video. Bye.